This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So today we need to discuss about vendor master, the second master. We completed material master. Today we step into the vendor master. The second master data. What is vendor master and how to handle the vendor master? Okay. So we'll to discuss in today's session. Okay. So here. So, so generally, for every company we have some supplier master will be there. Okay. Vendor and supplier both are same. For every company we have some vendors or suppliers will be there. So generally, what we discussed here compared to all other master datas in as well as compared to all other modules also, the metal master is the highest integration data, whereas metal master is going to handle by the so many user department. But coming to the vendor master, only two departments are responsible here. Okay, so what are the department? The first one is the purchase department. So the first one is the purchase department. The second one is the accounting department. Only these two departments are responsible, okay, to define the vendor master with respect to parameters. Now tell me why purchasing department is responsible for the vendor master data? Because here if you go for any company, so we have different departments. Okay, the purchasing department always they will procure the materials from the different vendors. That's what the purchasing department will responsible for the vendor master. Okay, so they need to maintain the respect to parameters in the vendor master, purchasing people. And if I come to the accounting department, why accounting department need to access the vendor master? Because so once the purchasing people purchase the material, the purchasing people will not pay to the vendor directly. So the payment part will not be involved by the purchasing department. They will give the information to the accounting department. So these accounting people or finance people, they will pay to the vendors. So that's what vendor master is going to handle by the only two departments, purchasing and accounting department. Only these two departments are responsible to complete the vendor master. And also, if I come to the vendor master, generally the vendor master is going to classify into three areas here. Okay, first one is general data. Okay, so what exactly the general data contains? The general data contains the address of the vendor here. Means what is the name of the vendor, which street it belongs to, which country, okay, which state, which region, what is the telephone number, what is the fax number. So complete address details of the vendor master. The respective table is LFA1. The respective table is LFA1. So you know for each and every master data you should know how to create, how to change, how to display, and important tables, important fields of the each and every master data. Okay, the general data contains the complete address. Okay, so here you need to enter the name of the vendor, okay, which state, which city, what is the fax number, what is the telephone number, which state, which region. So all the address details you need to mention, but it contains only one screen. The respective table is a LFA1 table. Okay, coming to the general data. Next, we need to observe company code data. The company code data, so generally you will find some 7 to 8 screens. General data contains only one screen, but company code data you will find 7 to 8 screens. The complete company code data will be, okay, so maintained by the purely finance people here. Okay, we are not responsible, so we will maintain this company code data. The company code data will be maintained by the purely finance people. The respective table is a LFB1 table. The company code details will be stored in the LFB1 tables. About the company code data. Okay, the general data LFA1, company code data is LFB1. So company code data will be filled by the purely finance people. So we have some 6 to 7 screens related to company code data. Next, we have some purchase data. So what is this purchase data? Who is going to handle this purchase data? The purchase data, we are the responsible. The complete purchase data, we are the responsible. Okay. The purchase data. Okay. So only one screen. The complete details will be stored in LFM1 table. So once again, if you come to the vendor master, is the second master data we are discussing. The vendor master is going to handle by the two departments. One is the purchasing department, second one is accounting department. Okay. So the vendor master is going to classify into three areas. So one is the general data. General data contains only one screen. There you need to enter the complete address of the vendor. Next, company code data. Company code data, you will find some 6 to 7 screens. Only the finance people will enter all these respective parameters company code data. Only two fields are mandatory, we need to fill here. And next one, purchasing data. The purchasing data will be filled by the only purchasing people, but it contains only one screen. And also, let us see, material master is going to control by the material type we discussed here. Some most number of the parameters going to control by the material type here. The coming to vendor master, the vendor master is going to control by the account group here. Okay. The account group is the main control parameter. The account group is the main control parameter here. So what are the parameters going to control by the account group here? The first one actually, so here now complete vendor master will be derived based on the account group. So what are the control parameters of a account group here? Okay. So first of all, number assignment. The number assignment here. Whether you want internal or external. So your client will inform you which number series is required, internal number assignment or external number assignment. So based on the account group, you need to define the number in this way. Based on the account group, you need to define the number assignment. Okay. So here so most of the 90% of clients, they required all the account groups internal number assignment. We observed material master, whenever creating material master, how system is allocating the number. The same way for account group level, we are going to control the number ranges for the account group level. Okay. So in customization class, I will show you how to create the account group. Just meanwhile, just you need to understand here. So most of the parameters going to control by the account group. Okay. So number assignment, internal, external. Okay. Whether you, okay. So or purely if you want external, so everything will be controlled by the account group. But the second one, the field selection. The second one is the field selection here. What is the field selection here? The particular field you want, optional field or required field. Okay, so we observed whenever creating material master, so some fields we observed required fields, some fields are optional. The same way for vendor master also, the basic field selection is given by the SAP, but as per your client business requirement, so you can change the field selection. So some clients they require some fields are mandatory, some fields are optional. So this field selection is going to control by the account group. And third one, partner determination. The partner determination is also going to control by the account group here. So partner determination means, what is partner determination? Okay, I want required, I want mandatory. This partner determination also going to control by the account group. Means see here some vendors will act different roles here. So roles like ordering address, goods supplier. Okay, so presented, so invoice presented by the same vendors acting the different roles. We will call it a partner determination, but we have a separate topic is there. In going forward, we will discuss here. So, but now if you come to here, material master, we discussed how to create, how to change. The same way vendor master also, XK01 is create, XK02 change, and XK03 display, and display changes and follow. Okay, so this also I will show you. But today, as per today's agenda, I will show you how to create vendor master, how to change the vendor master, so how to display the vendor master, how to see the display changes, and flag for deletion of the vendor master. We'll see in the session here. Simply, so here, let me open the server here. Go to XK01. Go to XK01. Okay, so when I enter the XK01, the system will take to creation of the vendor here. XK01 is the transaction code to create the vendor. See here, just I am giving, first one is I am giving blank here because I don't know whether internal or external. Just I am giving blank. But what we observed, the vendor master is going to control with account group and purchasing. Okay, so here means company code and purchasing. So company code point of view means finance point of view. What is the Oracle elements? Company code here. I need to give company code. For MM point of view, what is the Oracle elements? Purchasing organization. So these two departments. But account group here, so in customization classes we'll see so how to define the new account groups. But as of now, account groups, I'm still the account group. The account group I am selecting is 000. So this is account group here 000. Okay. So I mentioned the company code, I mentioned the purchase organization. Account group I mentioned as 000. You click on continue. So here, okay. So what we observed, the vendor master completely classified into three areas here. The first one is the general data. General data contains the complete address. Is only one screen. After the general data, you will find the company code data relevant screens. There are 5 to 6 screens. So all the finance related information will be filled by the finance people. Next, last, we have only one screen purchase data. These are the respective tables here. Again, come to here. General data, what I need to fill. So we will give, you no need to bother because the client people inform you. So what is the name of the vendor? Okay. So where exactly the vendor belongs to? What is the house number, postal code, city, address, which country, what is the post box number, what is the telephone number, what is the fax number, what is the email of the vendor? All the details will be provided by your client people here. So just we need to upload. Okay, we are creating manually, but in real time we need to upload. So vendor also company, just select the company. So just meanwhile I'm writing as a some test vendor. Okay. Test vendor for global. Anything. So something there. So search term to fast search here. So here actually in real time we'll fill the complete data, postal code, city, everything. But in training system only mandatory fill. So just I'm going to mention DE means German. Okay. Indian IN. So which country this vendor belongs to mandatory fill here. Remaining fax number, telephone number, just I'm skipping here. Now again if you click on continue, okay, you'll get a one more screen. Okay. What is that screen here? So it's a control screen. If vendor is also customer, we need to enter the customer number. If vendor is also customer, so sometimes your same vendor is also customer to us. He will give us the material and he will procure the material from us also. Okay. So your vendor also customer, you need to enter the customer number. Again, you need to click on continue. So from this screen onwards, so all these okay parameters will be filled by the finance people. Means what is the bank account, what is the which is the account, who is the account holder. So all the information will be given by finance department. We need to enter. Again, if you click on continue. Reconciliation account is a mandatory field. So what is the reconciliation account? Reconciliation account is a parallel to so many GL accounts here. But we no need to worry about the reconciliation account. So these are the two mandatory fields I need to fill. However, in real time, so this will be done by the purely finance people. We don't need to worry. So they will give you some drop down, some reconciliation account. Just I'm selecting here. But this is most important reconciliation account for the finance people. So based on the reconciliation account, they will trace out. Okay. So what are the transactions has been made with this vendor? Okay, reconciliation account and cash management group also like A1. Enter. Enter. So what is the currency here? Currency will be euro. Okay. So this actually, so previously if I go to back here, all the screens here, still this screen, finance, and this is only one screen is related to purchasing here. So this is the screen important for us here. Okay. So means so what is terms of payment, what is input terms, what is the order the currency, who is the salesperson, and what is the telephone number. Some controlling checkboxes here, some control data. Okay. So these are some control data also we need to select here. They are all fields actually we need to observe day to day. So simply come back here. Okay, so come back here, you need to click on server. So this is the way we need to create one vendor. So vendor is created. What is your vendor number? 20007 here. So this is the vendor is created for 2000 company code and 2000 purchase. This is my one vendor number here. 20071 has been created for 1000 company code and 1000 purchase. So once the vendor is created, now see here, previously metal master we created. What is the change mode of the metal master? MM02. The same way vendor master also, if you want to change the vendor, you need to go to XK02. If you want to change the vendor, where I need to go? I need to go to XK02. Simply go to XK02. Okay. So this vendor, okay. So here, you know, the vendor is going to classify into three areas we discussed here. So this is the general data. This is the company code data. This is the purchasing data. So where you want to change. So suppose now I do this is the select all. So all the screens will be selected if I selected it. All the screens will be open here. But but I don't want this general data and company code data. Straight away I need to go to the purchasing data, deselect all and select the purchasing data. If I selected, the system directly take to the purchasing data. Okay. So where you want to change minimum, previously you have not mentioned the minimum order value. Now this time I mentioned minimum order value is at least 500 euros. Example. Okay, so enter. So here what we observe here. So in edit mode, XK02 like MM02, XK02 is also there. Edit mode here. You can able to change the override to values. So you can change the old value and you can enter the new value. So here this is called XK02. XK01 you observed, XK02 also you observed. The same way, you want to only display the vendor, where you need to go? You need to go to XK03. You need to go to XK03. This is only display of the vendor here. I want to see only address data here. Select only address here. The system open. This is only display mode here. Okay. You are not able to edit here. XK01 is create, XK02 change, XK03 display. Now I want to display the purchasing data. So deselect all. I want to purchasing data. If I selected, the system directly will open the purchasing data in display mode here. You are not able to see it. Only means you're not able to change. Only you can able to see it. This is the display mode of the vendor master. So one is for create, two is for change, three is for display. So once again, if you review, the vendor master is a master data for every company. So generally, what we observe when you are going to in real time, so vendors also they have a lot of vendors. 1,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 vendors is also there, very big MNCs. Okay, actually it is not possible to create vendors manually. We need to upload the vendor master data. Okay, manually means always mistakes. Okay, you should, that we are going to see here. We will give the template same like vendor master. We need to upload here. But vendor master is going to control by the two departments. One is purchasing department. Second is accounting department. So vendor is going to classify into three areas: general data, company code data, purchase data here. Let us observe the tables here. Okay. Now we'll go and observe the tables. Now tell me anybody in the session. So what is the transition code to see the table?
XK03.
XK03 display the vendor. I am asking. I want to see the table.
LFA1 sir. General
LFA1
data.
is general data. Okay. That is the table name. But what is the transition code to use?
Okay.
SC16 sir.
SC16.
Very good. Okay. SC16. SC16 is the transition code to see the table. SC16 is the transition code to see the table. Okay, we observed in Metal Master a couple of tables. Now, if you go to LFA1, now, right. So LFA1. So here, just place your vendor. This is your vendor. Just now we created. If you execute here, you can see the vendor master general data. Okay, this LFA1 table will not show you only the name of the vendor. Okay, if suppose now if you which state, which city, which district, which region, all the general data details you can see this LFA1 table. And in LFA1 table, you are not able to see which company code this vendor is created. What is the purchasing date of the purchasing details of this vendor master? You are not able to see. The LFA1 is the client table, and you can able to see the address of the vendor here. But if I want to see this particular vendor in which company code this vendor is created. So where you can able to see, simply go to SC16 and if I go to LFB1 here, okay, the LFB1, you can able to see your general that, sorry, you can able to see in which company code this vendor able to create. Okay, enter the vendor. If you execute here, this vendor is created in which company code? 1,000 company code. Okay, and who is created, when it's created. So means in the company code almost all we have a lot of fields will be there, because there are 5 to 6 screens are company code elements, but I entered only 1 or 2 fields. You can see these are all the company code details will be stored in LFB1. What is the reconciliation account and payment methods, payment terms, account with the vendors. So these are all the company code details here. Okay, so the LFA1 is the general data, LFB1 is the company code data details here. So it will show in which company code, LFB1 here. Now I want to see purchasing details. So I need to go to LFM1 table here. Simply I need to go to LFM1. In LFM1, so enter. And if I come to here, if I enter the LFM1, so now this LFM1 is will show you which purchasing organization this vendor is created. In which purchasing organization? I click on execute here. Now this vendor is created in which purchasing organization? Who is created when it is created? In purchasing data also we have only Order currency and minimum order value we mentioned. A lot of parameters we have not mentioned. These are all the purchase details will be stored in LF M1 table here. Okay, so these are the tables also we have done, and also the account group. However, I will show you in the further classes. Okay, so how the account group is going to control your field selections, okay, number assignment. This also we'll discuss here. But some other functionality also we discuss about the vendor master. So I want to see the display changes of the vendor master here. I want to see the display changes of the vendor master. Metal master we observed. The same way vendor master also I need to observe what is the display changes here. Okay. So where I need to go? Just I need to go to XK04 here. The transition code is XK04. So this is the display changes here. So if we change any changes is happen, it will show you. If changes is not happen, it will not show you. So this is one of the important transition code we discussed in metal master also. The same way vendor, all the master has display changes means during the support project, if any changes is happened, when it is changed, what is the old parameter, what is the new parameter, everything you can trace out here. Display changes. It's called XK04 here. XK04 is the display changes, but you can track everything here. So what is the value you changed? Minimum order value changed here. Okay. If you go to details button here, okay. Still, if you want to see the complete details, now you can able to see on which date it changed. In fact, just now I created, but in system you can see in real system. Suppose this project is implemented 5 years before. Okay, it's a particular vendor changed or not. If vendor changed, what date, what time, which user ID. So what is the old value and what is the new value? Everything you can track. Okay, in the XK04 transition code. Okay, so for here like how to create vendor XK01, how to change, how to display the vendor also we observed XK01, 2, 3, and also display changes also we observed. And already MM05 there is no transition code here, but XK05 transition code is there. What is the XK05 here? So this is to block or unblock the vendor here. So why I need to restrict the vendor? Why I need to block the vendor? Why I need to unblock the vendor here? Okay, this is most important here. If this vendor is not supplying the proper material to us, so every time delay delivery, as is not maintaining any shipping, the vendor company is not maintaining the shipping instructions. You're asking in a neat packing, but he is not maintaining the packing. The metal unnecessarily the metal is damaged here. So any reason you can block the vendor here. Okay. So if I want to block here XK05, just to come to here. So enter the vendor code, company code, purchase organization. In fact, sometimes some vendors will be supplied not only one company code, other company code also. So we have taken the org structure of the example for the Tata. If Tata, we have different company codes. If the company code 1000 is Tata Steels, so for Tata Motors also same vendor is supplying. So if any vendor is supplying for multiple vendors, for all the vendors you want to, so this vendor need to be blocked for all the company codes, you can select it. All the purchase organizations also you can select. Or only this supplier means vendor should be blocked for only selected company code, selected purchase organization also. This try to understand. So if vendor want to stick for all the company codes, you need to select. For all the purchase organization, you need to select upside. Only selected company code and selected purchase organization. Means this vendor can be supplied 2000 company code for 2000 purchase organization. Okay, the selected company code. So that is as per your business requirement. But we have different functions in their blocking functions. Only with this vendor, I don't want to create a purchase order. I need to select 01. If I selected 01, I'm not able to create a purchase order with this vendor, but I can able to do the process. So if I selected 02, request for quotation as well as purchase order 2 has been stopped here. So I cannot create a request for quotation as well as purchase order also I cannot do. If I selected option as 3, what is the option 3? I cannot able to, so PO, I cannot able to create a PO. I cannot able to do RFQ. I'm not able to do the goods receipt also. So all has been blocked. Even though I cannot able to receive the goods also. So this is actually 3. Fourth one is source will not be appeared. Blocking the source information. Okay, these are all different. So as per your business requirement, you can control. So only due to any business reason, so you can restrict the vendor, you can block the vendor. Okay, in XK05. Okay, so that blocking functions also as per your business requirement you need to select here. But one important, if I selected any, suppose if I restrict the vendor by selecting any blocking function here. So if I save it here, how to unblock? If I block here, I need to how to unblock the vendor. Same transition code you need to use here. Suppose if I block the vendor here. So this vendor has been blocked here. Okay. So I want to unblock here. So you need to use the same transition code here. Same, go to XK05 transition code. XK05. So enter the vendor code. And just remove. I need to remove this blocking concept. To unblock the vendors, you need to use the same transition code. So what are the transition code you are using? The same by using. So after the business you want to unblock, okay, then you can unblock the vendor by using the same XK05 transition code. And one more important, in Metal Master we observe flag for deletion here. So generally deletions are two types we discuss. One is permanent deletion, second one is a flag for deletion. Permanent deletion means, what is permanent deletion? We cannot retrieve the data. For vendor master also, so we have two options here. If you want to delete a vendor master permanently, where I need to go? MM71. So this is called archive administration. Generally, this permanent deletion or archive administration will be done by the purely basis people. But I don't want to delete that vendors permanently. I want logical deletion. Simply go to XK06. So this XK06 is the flag for deletion of the vendor master here. So XK05 and XK06, lot of difference here. So you're blocking the vendor, some functionality here, but flagging the vendor, you are deleting the vendor. So suppose now I don't want to create, I don't want to appear in the source. Then you can select a different suitable blocking function in XK05. But flagging the vendor or logical deletion of the vendor means you cannot do goods receipt, you cannot create a PO, you cannot, source will not appear. So all the activities temporarily the material is dead. Sorry, the vendor is dead. Okay. So and one more important in XK05, okay, so this is a blocking vendor. If I selected the function as a 99 here, did you observe 99? This is total black, which is equals to XK06 here. If I selected 99 total black, which is equals to XK06 here. So you're blocking the total blocking function means completely vendor is dead here. Okay. So this also, if I use 99 means total block means is equals to XK06 only. For the vendor master also, the flag is the complete master data, not only vendor master, material master. The deletions are two types. One is done by the basis people. We don't have authorization in real time. In MM71, our archive administration will be done by the basis people. But still, so in SAP, okay, generally it is not recommended. So we need to clearly convince the users if they want permanent, then we go MM71. But they want logical. For metal master MM06, for vendor master XK06 is the flag for deletion of the vendor master here. Okay, right. So this is what we discussed here, and let us see in the vendor master also, like metal master we observed how to extend the vendor. How to extend the vendor metal master. So tell me anybody, what is the transition code to extend the metal master? What is the transition code to extend the metal master? Anybody in the session? I want to extend the metal master. Tell me anybody.
MM01.
Yes. MM01 is the transition code to extend the metal master. Right. Okay. So that's what actually here to extend the metal master is MM01. To create and extend the metal master is MM01. Okay. The same way, if I come to extend the vendor master also, XK01 to extend the vendor master also we need to use XK01. So XK01 is not only create, to extend the vendor master here. Go to XK01, enter the same vendor code here. So here you should enter the same vendor code, but this vendor is extending to other company code, other purchase organization. If I mention the same vendor, so the system will scold us, okay? Because already this vendor is created in this company code purchase organization. Why you are creating again it is saying, okay? But I want to extend. So this is the one company code. Example, Tata Steels. The same vendor is applying for Tata Motors. So Tata Motors company code is 2000 example. So I need to extend to other company code. So just simply go to XK01, okay, enter the same vendor code, but I am extend this vendor to other company code. What is my other company code here? Other company code is 2000. Other purchase is 2000. So the address will not be changed, vendor address. So only we need to enter the respective parameters. So what is the reconciliation account? What is the cash management? Okay. Reconciliation account I need to enter. The company code to company code reconciliation account will be different. Okay. But however, we are not responsible because reconciliation account purely will be handled by the finance people. So they will create. So generally, what is the reconciliation account? Reconciliation account is a parallel to so many GL accounts. So end of the day, they'll trace out what are the transactions has been made, the finance related transaction. So this is the key function. But as per standard SAP, it is a mandatory. We need to fill here. The cash management group also. So all the domestic vendors I need to group as A1. All the foreign vendors I need to group. This is also so the completely account information. We are not responsible. They are all accounting. Enter. Again, this is the accounting screen here. So this is the screen for us. Okay, enter the currency. Enter. If you click on yes. So this is what to extend the vendor master. To extend the vendor master, you need to go to XK zone, same like vendor master. So we observed like what are the parameters we observed today? Vendor master is a supplier master. Every company we have list of suppliers. Now you should know today itself you need to practice how to create vendor, how to change, how to display, how to see the display changes, how to do the flag for deletion, how to extend the vendor master. Also, this actually basics will be used okay to further business process projects. Okay, you can able to create vendor master. But all together, what we observed, the vendor master is going to handle by only two departments, purchasing and accounting. Okay, in real time, the purchasing parameter will be enter the vendor master by purchasing department. Accounting parameters details will be entered by the finance department. So, but complete vendor is going to classify into three areas. General data contains only one screen. There you need to enter the address of the vendor, complete address of the vendor, and a company code. You will find some 6 to 7 screens. But again, purchasing data only one screen. Okay. Now also we observed what are the tables for the vendor master. The tables for the vendor master LFA1. LFA1 is the general data. LFB1 is the company code data. LFM1 the purchasing data. Okay, these are purchasing details also we observed here. So this is about the completely today's session. But in tomorrow session, okay. So in tomorrow session we'll discuss vendor master important fields. Okay, what are the fields important as a consultant vendor field? So in tomorrow session, what we observe just simply I'll go to XK02. Okay, in XK02, simply I'm saying here. In tomorrow, what we are going to discuss here. So if I go to purchasing data, in purchasing data, some fields, material master we discuss some fields, right? The same way vendor also, what is the terms of payment, what is input terms, what is minimum order value, what is GR based invoice certification, some important fields we'll discuss in tomorrow session here. Is it clear, Lakshmi, Rajesh, Babu, Yamuna, and Yashasvi? So please practice vendor master today.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So thank you all for joining sessions. We'll meet tomorrow with the same time, same.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.